Greetings, friends. Welcome back to my game development blog. So I've been working on the pinball machine game today, and let's run it. So basically, this is what I've got. I have a ball that randomly pings out like this, and I'm using the left and right arrow keys to move this block left and right. And every time I hit the marble or the pinball or whatever, I get 1 point. And if I can get the pinball back through that little doorway that it came through, then I get 10 points. And whenever the pinball spawns, it spawns in a slightly random direction. So it always comes out slightly differently. Right, so, there you go. I was making it look quite easy just then. I was getting loads of points, but I've actually been finding it quite difficult to play. But there we go. Got lucky just then. What else is happening? So whenever I hit the ball, I get 1 point, and also the amount of power that sort of thrusts the ball forward increases as well. But that's only for the lifespan of that particular ball. Maybe this is a bit of a problem. Oh, it's okay. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I could just, I've got this issue here where if I just hold the column in the center here, very often the marble will just come straight out and I can just score a point really quickly. I get the occasional frame spike, which is causing me to fail. But yeah, if I don't score in a certain amount of time, then ping, that ping gets more and more powerful till it gets to the point where it's too difficult. So it gets kind of more and more intense. I pinged it off of the side of the course. That's not supposed to happen, but there we go. It happened. Maybe I could do something really annoying and like put an obstacle like right in the middle. Just a little pin or something, just right in the middle to prevent this kind of thing from happening. Yeah, also I've got these wind fireworks. I've actually created a couple more of those wind fireworks. But I don't know if maybe they're a bit too much. Let's see if I can set off a wind firework. If I just go bing, I missed. Just going to hold this in the middle and see if I can get one of those cheeky middle scores. Maybe not. So close. But yeah, I've now activated this extra wind fireworks. I don't know if that's too much. Like having just the ones at the back seems kind of, I don't know, more amusing. Like having the ones going off the sides, I don't know, it seems a bit too much. Also a bit of a epilepsy problem, potentially. It seems more safe just having the fireworks going off at the back rather than having them go off like right next to me as well. And I want the player to think that they're in safe hands. I don't know. So what do you think? I mean, should I have all of those fireworks going off, or should I just have the two ones at the back? Also, I've been asked by a friend of mine in the comments, why are you making this game? What is it? Who's it for? And that sort of thing. I suppose I'll have to make a proper game design document maybe I'll make a pitch deck about it, and I'll explain all of that stuff. The game itself is based in a wider world where you're in like a specific location of a larger world. I'm not exactly sure what the story or is. I've got a good idea of the lore of this world. But what am I saying? I think I'm going to follow the principle of creating a story around the game so that the game comes first. And I want to make something that's fun to play with lots of variety and stuff. It's not too complicated and it's a bit of a challenge. So, you know, something that you can pick up easily and it's got simple controls. And yeah, you've got lots of different things to do. And then, you know, after I've got that, I can then look at how to fit a story around that game. I think that's better. It is for me anyway. Those are the kinds of games that I prefer, rather than games where they've tried to fit the game around the story. So let's examine the guts of this thing. So that's the game. And here, look, oh crikey. I've got post-process effects going on. If I disable those, then it looks something like this. Maybe I can just disable the post-process there. So this is it without post-processing. Looks pretty dull, I think. Looks really dull, actually. And as soon as I enable that post-processing, like that, suddenly it all kind of comes to life with color. So I think what I might do is have a similar kind of post-processing going on in like the main game world. So that's something that I can do later. But yeah, this is what this kind of pinball machine thing looks like. It's pretty silly. It's got this one block at the bottom that I designed using Pro Builder. And I've also got this barrier here. And it's got like a top on it as well. Which, you know, it's weird that that ball was able to escape that one time, given that I've got like some pretty strict barriers going on. I've also got some trigger zones. So here, it's kind of hard to see, but I've got this big box that's surrounding the whole play zone, and if the ball leaves the box, then you fail. And then at the back here, so behind the spawn point through this door, I've got another box with a trigger enter on it. So if the ball enters the trigger, then you win. And then with the spawn, there's the spawn point just up here. So the ball falls down from this point here and it lands in this little trough here. So yeah, I'm quite enjoying these like really extreme post-process effects. You know, they're totally unrealistic, but you know, something about the aesthetic that I enjoy. And yeah, if we have a look at this spawner here, I've got some randomization going on. So I'm randomizing a number to be something between minus 0.5 and plus positive 0.5. And from that number, I then construct a vector 3. And then I use that vector 3 to define the position. It's an offset position of this pinball. So when it spawns, it might spawn a little bit to the left or a little bit to the right, and it might spawn a little bit high or a little bit low, and that's what causes the ball to come out like randomly. So it's going to bounce differently off of this thing, and it's going to come out in a different direction every time. What else? Yeah, I've got this text. This is a 3D text object, and that's got a piece of code on it where I'm using an int changed. So my score for this game is a global variable. It's a global integer, and this piece of text here is looking out for that. It's looking at that global integer, and if that integer changes, then we update the text. And I'm actually doing a conversion here. So I convert that pinball score to a string, and then that gets output here. So I don't have to check the score every frame or anything. It's only when the score changes that text will update. So yeah, I think the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to update, if I save this, my PuzzleKeep game. I would like to do some more interesting stuff with the post-process effects. So right there, what I've done is I took the post-process effects from the pinball game and just applied them to the sort of world map. And then I end up with something like this. You know, I think this particular world map is going to need its own post-process volume. Well, I'm going to go back to the camera, or this global volume. So that's what it looked like before. And yeah, this is what I had before. And it's nice and all, but actually just looking at it now, adding that post-process volume, like that, you know, I think it adds a lot. I think it adds a lot to the game. I don't know what you might think. You might be thinking, no, Lewis, you're crazy. Why are you making it all garish and weird? It's just a matter of personal preference. But yeah, that's that. I also figured out a way of getting my 2D platformer onto a 3D plane in this world, so that's what I'm going to do. That will be cool. So I suppose what I could do next is update this area so that I've actually got the pinball machine, or like a model of the pinball machine in this area. I think I'm going to change scene. So when I go to play the game, this pinball game, it will change scene and then go to that pinball game. It's not ideal. I mean, it would be awesome if I could just walk up to it and start playing it. But for now, I'll just have it change scene. It's not really a big problem. It would be a lot of work just for a minor detail, so I'm not gonna do that just yet. So yeah, that's that. I'm gonna leave this crazy color scheme on this world. I'm gonna come back to it later and change it, I think. But yeah, back to the pinball game. Yeah, so it's asking me to save that. What else? So the archway on the right, I want to have like a best score. So whenever you lose, it will record your score on the right, and if your current score is better than the previous best score, then it'll update that. and then this pinball machine will give you a reward based on your best score. So I suppose maybe if your best score is 100 or higher, it will give you part of a key, like half of the key, to open up the entrance, the central entrance in the main world. If that makes sense. All right, so that's that. Sorry I haven't fully answered your question about the lore in the game world, but that will be coming. So I don't want to say watch this space. I hate it when people say watch this space. So, but I already said it. I just said it twice. But yeah, any questions or comments? Feel free to ask. And I hope you're all groovy and doing well. See you next time. Bye-bye.